We begin this afternoon with images out of northwest Arkansas where strong winds and heavy rainfall caused some major flooding earlier this morning. Dozens of roads have been closed in Benton County, and emergency crews carried out over 60 water rescues at apartments in South Washington County during the early morning hours. You can see just a small part of the aftermath from the flooding. Louise Heath says she woke up when she couldn't hear her box fan. When she sat up, she realized she was surrounded by muddy water.
And I didn't know how we were going to get out because if it was this high in here, how high was it going to be outside? So I quickly got stuff together, told my son to go outside, and he opened the door and it just like started rushing in. And so we all three pushed it back, locked it, bolted it up the ladder to the attic.
And take a look at this. Flooding pushed debris over train tracks and derailed boxcars in Johnson near the Northwest Arkansas Mall off I-49. We're going to have more from the flooding tonight at 5 and 6. You know, it's a different story here in central Arkansas. We're here with meteorologist Nathan Scott. So these storms could have helped out a little bit.
Yeah, they saw 7 to 9 inches of rain in northwest Arkansas. Those storms did weaken as they moved into parts of central Arkansas. But the good news is those storms kind of stole away some of the storm fuel to work with for the rest of the day. So as this next batch of moisture moves in, we've been seeing showers and storms out there in parts of the region right now. We've got a deck of clouds here in downtown Little Rock, as seen from Dash R View 11. But here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see that risk of severe weather is now situated into South Arkansas and eastern sections of the state. That's because they haven't seen anything just yet. So the atmosphere in that part of the state is still primed for the potential of seeing some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms. Here's the radar loop right now. We've got a line moving its way through the heart of central Arkansas with heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been posted for parts of Jefferson County, Lonoke County, and into Arkansas County. That does include you folks in Stuttgart. But you can see the heavy rain lined up all the way down through Dallas County, Grant County. And as we take a look at that severe thunderstorm warning into North Jefferson County, does not include you folks in Pine Bluff, but that is because the potential there could be some winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour moving through Sherrill, Kissimmee, Wabaseka, Humphrey, and could get pretty close to Stuttgart. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for the next hour or so. We also have a flash flood warning in effect for all those counties: Clark, Hot Spring, Grant, until around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Tornado watch also in effect for parts of southwest Arkansas. That goes until 6 o'clock this evening. That's where the best potential of severe weather will be located, south and southeast Arkansas. I'll let you know when everything moves out coming up.
All right, thanks, Nathan. And happening now, the Arkansas State University Board of Trustees is considering a restructuring plan for Henderson State University that includes cutting between $5 and $8 million. Most of that coming from eliminating teaching positions and academic programs. University leaders announced the news earlier this week, saying these major cutbacks needed to be made to keep the university going. HSU Chancellor Chuck Ambrose realizes this is a hard message for everyone at the university to hear, but told us on Tuesday that it's not a decision they came to lightly. We have a crew at today's meeting, which kicked off around 10 this morning. They're going to bring us the very latest tonight at 5 and 6. And this afternoon, public protests over abortion rights continue to take place in cities across the country. While the demonstrations have nearly all been peaceful, there appears to be some concerns that things may change if or when the Supreme Court issues its ruling on a Mississippi abortion case, which could overturn Roe v. Wade. Elise Preston explains.
New fencing went up overnight, completely encircling the Supreme Court after Politico published a draft opinion showing the justices could be on the verge of overturning Roe v. Wade.
Hands off our bodies! Pro-choice, that's a lie!
The demonstrations have been loud but peaceful in the days since the leak. But Justice Samuel Alito, who wrote the opinion in February, canceled a public appearance scheduled for today. The court ruling could come as early as this month. If the justices do overturn Roe, the battle over abortion rights kicks back to the states, many of which are already working on their own legislation.
In Oklahoma, I've been very clear. I don't believe in abortion. We're trying to do everything we can to get it out of our state.
I'm a pro-choice governor, and as long as I'm governor, we're going to remain a pro-choice state.
26 states are likely to ban at least some access to abortions if Roe is defeated, including Texas, where the last anti-abortion Democrat in Congress is facing a runoff this month against a pro-abortion rights opponent.
I'm a Catholic, and I'm against abortion, but do I believe in an outright ban? No.
A recent poll shows most Texans agree with that view, with 78% saying abortion should be allowed in some form and 15% saying it should never be permitted. But Texas is one of the 13 states with so-called trigger laws that would automatically go into effect to ban abortions if Roe is overturned. Elise Preston, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
And that Texas poll matches nationwide polling conducted from last year, showing 62% of Americans would want abortion to be legal in their own state in all or most cases, with 14% saying their state should make it illegal in all cases. And in other news, Ukrainian commanders say Russian shelling has resumed on the Mariupol steel plant, holding the last pocket of resistance in the city. The renewed attacks comes as the Ukrainian president reports nearly 350 more people have been evacuated from the port city and surrounding areas. Meanwhile, the head of the European Union is now proposing a new round of sanctions that would not only target more major Russian banks, but also ban all oil imports from Russia. And the U.S. is now approaching 1 million deaths from COVID-19. The looming milestone comes as hospitalizations begin climbing in many areas. Health experts are concerned another spike could once again put a strain on services. In one area of California, positive cases have jumped 200% in recent days. The Northeast is also seeing a jump in cases, and masks are being brought back in some communities, with several businesses requiring patrons to wear them. And as expected, the Fed raised rates by half a percentage point to fight inflation yesterday. It's the largest hike in more than 2 decades. And rising interest rates also mean higher mortgage rates. Pair that with record high home prices, and it's no surprise that a record low number of Americans think it's a good time to buy a house. According to pollster Gallup, just 30% of adults say it's the right time to settle down. It's the first time that number has ever been below 50% since the survey started in 1978. And turning now to the ongoing baby formula shortage that's impacting parents across the country. Recalls and supply chain issues continue to make things worse, and now some are looking for other solutions. Stacey Spivey looks into one that's making the rounds on social media.
With many parents desperate to feed their babies because of the baby formula shortage, I've seen this Facebook post shared with a recipe for a homemade baby formula. It's a mixture of evaporated milk, purified water, light Karo syrup, and liquid infant vitamins. But is it safe to use? Let's verify. Our sources for this are the American Academy of Pediatrics, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, and Katina Little, a pediatric nurse practitioner with Novant Health. The AAP warns parents not to feed homemade formula to infants. It might contain too many or not enough nutrients, and it can put babies at risk of getting sick. The FDA also advises parents to not give babies homemade infant formula because of serious health and safety concerns, including contamination, nutritional imbalances, and foodborne illnesses. The FDA does regulate all commercially available infant formulas, but does not regulate recipes for homemade formulas. And Little agrees with all of this.
It is not safe to make your own formula. There are several reasons that go along with that. One of the biggest is just the risk factor of not mixing it correctly.
Little says if it is not mixed the right way, babies could be given too much or too little of something. She says this could cause problems with brain development, weight gain, and digestion, along with many other things.
This too will pass, and we will get to a point where we have enough. So the resources that you can tap into will hold you over until you can get it. But I want to say, just don't think, you have to resort to making it on your own or creating it on your own.
She suggests if you're having trouble finding formula, reach out to your pediatrician's office, WIC, or even a lactation consultant, so we can verify that no, it is not safe to feed your baby homemade formula.